Hey, check it out, it's MediaShinobi, and today we're going to be reviewing the anime series Ray Zero. Sure.
Okay, some of you may be asking yourself or asking us, what is Ray Zero?
What was that?
I don't know. Okay, some of you may be asking, what is Ray Zero? Is it good? Should I watch it? And my answer is yes, very carefully. Alright, so without spoiling it, just in case you guys do want to watch it, it's pretty much about main character Subaru gets teleported to a magical fantasy world, and he discovers that he has the ability where when he dies, he gets brought back to life on a certain save point. In that fantasy world, he meets Emilia, who is a half-elf and probably the most prettiest thing he'll ever see in his life. Granted, that's real.
Wow.
Hey, he's a neat, okay? You would be bugging. You're like, oh my god, there's dragons, there's fairies, and there's a half-elf who's pretty, and she's talking to me.
We're barely in the synopsis and you're dissing him already.
Okay, I give you that. Now he lives in this world with Emilia, trying to figure out what is he gonna do with his life, because he's not trying to go back home. I mean, who would? Magic, girls, fantasy, cat ears, and a half-elf maid with blue hair who's the perfect waifu. Without spoiling much, she is the perfect waifu. So right now I'm gonna go into more depth. So if you guys really curious about this anime and want to watch it, go ahead. Don't watch this part, because if you do, you're just gonna love Ren more.
Wow. Alright.
I would rate the series an 8. I was kind of, well, me and Jen both were agreeing, if they ended it better or worse, it would change our rating. But this final episode didn't really do much. It was a happy ending for you Emilia fans.
Wow. You say that with discontent.
There are reasons, Jan, okay? How many times has she died for Subaru? I was about to say us. Overall, the good points of this anime, the art is really nice. The music is done beautifully too. And I like the character interactions. They bring a certain energy. He does, die at certain points and he pretty much relives that week or day. Yeah, they still keep it interesting. Okay, some episodes were a little bit repetitive, but seeing them again, it gives them more personality. Essentially, the biggest reason I like this anime is just because of Rem. In the beginning, oh, she hates you because she doesn't know you, but then she grows to love you. Holding your hand at night, you're like, did she do that? I don't know. Just following you around. She grows on you, and Emilia didn't have that. Okay, granted, she was kind of there in the beginning, but she left for a bit, and Rem stuck with you. She died multiple times for you. I mean, that scene where she gets body twisted and tortured, whatever.
That was hard to watch.
Jan loves that scene.
What? No! That was terrible.
She crawls to you and she couldn't even speak a word, but she still manages to crawl to you. And I'm pretty sure her words were I love you or something. You can't beat Rem. And that certain moment where Subaru was at his low and he said, let's run off together. Even though that's what she wanted, she said no. She already knows that his love for Emilia is that strong. That's when you know she truly cares about you. I was like, can I just run away with you? I'm gonna die regardless, so let me just have a couple days living this moment. So that pretty much wraps up my thoughts. And with the flick of my wrist, Jan will magically appear in this seat and I will be in the world of Rem.
For me, I would also give it an 8 out of 10. I was trying to see if the ending may have changed my opinion, but for the most part, it was a pretty straightforward ending. So for the most part, it just cemented the idea okay, I would give this an 8. So to start off with the negatives, this one is just more of a nitpick, but basically I felt like some of the pivotal points in this series, at a certain point, it got kind of exhausting because I believe it was about halfway through the series and it just started ending after cliffhanger after cliffhanger. How they structured the series, it was a very safe way of doing it. Pretty much maybe midway, maybe 2/3 into the series, and then everything after that just kind of fell into place, which isn't necessarily a negative or a positive thing. It was just something I thought they were focusing so much on these pivotal points that once you get desensitized by that stuff, how do you top that? So that's where I'm coming from. Another negative, not necessarily for me, but I could see it for some other people, is that it may be more of a slow start for some people. Like, it does introduce that you can die immediately. That's the premise of the series, but it's not until halfway where like things start going crazy, and that's where cliffhanger after cliffhanger happens. So, you know, if you're willing to wait a little bit, that's when it really gets good. I don't have any more nitpicks. I'm perfectly fine with Amelia. I don't have a preference, although if I were to pick, yes, I would pick Red. As for everything else, I think they're positives. I love the animation, love the soundtrack, especially the last episode. It just looked extremely pretty. Characters, for the most part, I mean, I won't say I love them, but they were pretty well outlined. They did what they needed to do in terms of character development, in terms of character interactions. It all worked. And that pretty much wraps it up. Like, the only thing left is, will there be a season 2? It seems that there will be a season 2. I can't guarantee it because I didn't like actually click on the links, but it seems for the most part it will get a season 2 because there's so many unanswered questions. Why was he chosen to be in the world of fantasy? Why did the witch, what's her name again? Why did Satella specifically choose Subaru? Why is he cursed with dying only to restart? What about who's gonna be the Empress? Yeah, you know, that was never really answered, but if there is gonna be a season 2, that'll probably be answered then. I believe it has both a manga and a light novel. That's like ahead. So that should guarantee a season 2, right?
Yeah, I remember vaguely when it first started, there were 3 mangas.
There's 3?
With, yeah, I think there's supposed to be like alternatives.
Like what ifs?
Yeah, like what if,
Oh.
what if he never met Amelia and chose Ram?
You're not gonna let that go, are you?
You know why Subaru and Ram can't be together?
Why?
Because they're different cars.
It took me a minute. I was like, what? Oh my god. So we have the alternative what if universes. We have the light novel as well. I don't know if that means the light novel is the true route or whatnot. But the fact that we have so many source materials goes to show that you should probably get a season 2. I don't know when it will come out, but with this type of production, I'll give it at least a year. I don't think they would do it immediately after like 2 quarters. In terms of theories, a very popular one is that apparently Subaru is the Archbishop of Pride, I believe, which makes sense for his, you know, his character. And we only were introduced to one character, Beetlejuice. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he was the Archbishop of Sloth, which is like the reverse of what he is because he's freaking hyperactive and everything, and a hard worker. Other than that, that's 2 at most, so we don't know the other 5 branches of sins. If that's just one of the archbishops, I don't even want to imagine how annoyingly difficult it will be to beat the other ones. Because he will not die. And I'm not talking about Subaru, I meant Beetlejuice, whatever his name is. Oh my god, he would not die. I was like,
and he was Sloth too.
And he's Sloth, he's the lazy one. Do you have any though?
I guess one for me would be Amelia. Because she's so like mystery behind her. He saw a glimpse of the witch or whatever.
Yeah.
And her silhouette looked like an older version of
Amelia.
My question, or my theory is she like somewhat related? Like, I'm pretty positive that she is related, or maybe like a future version, or she is the future witch.
I mean, it is time travel technically.
Yeah,
so.
time travel.
Yeah.
And she really, you know, loves Subaru, and I want to see her so badly. This is the only way I can do it. It's when he dies.
So that pretty much wraps up this series. Once again, both Scott and I agree. We will give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely would recommend. Just in general, it was a pretty good, solid anime. Don't forget to like this video. If you have any theories yourself of what could possibly happen in season 2, or what you thought about the series as a whole, leave it down in the comment section down below. Also consider subscribing. We try to pump out this kind of content as much as we can. Also check us out on our social media sites, Facebook, Google+, Twitter, Tumblr. We try to keep those as active as we possibly can. And that pretty much wraps it up. So this is Jan and Scott, 2/3 of MediaShinobi, signing out.
Raymond Bay!